What's something you are sick of hearing? The ringing in my ears. I can't do the high pitch, so figure it out. My alarm every morning. Do you ever get so annoyed by the sound of your alarm that you start to hate whatever the song or melody is, and it instantly gives you anxiety anytime you hear it outside of being woken up? Definitely some sort of Pavlovian response. I feel dreadful when I hear it. What's worse, my brain tricks me into hearing it when my phone is vibrating from a call because my alarm also vibrates my phone. You may not rest now. There are monsters nearby. Your bed is too far away. You can only sleep at night. Discrimination against thunderstorms? For the past 2 weeks, it's been the phrase, pain at the pump, every time I turn on the news. That's the issue, you're watching the news. My uncle broke his penis, so now he has pain at the pump. Now that's the kind of headline that'll get views. Hey, do you know this song? Haha, probably not, it's not your generation. As if you were forbidden to listen to music older than you. Or just because you're older, you're not allowed to like music by more recent artists. Hello everybody, welcome back to Ask EmKay. My name is Mason. Let's hop right into it. Serious. Scientists of Reddit, what's something you suspect is true in your field of study, but you don't have enough evidence to prove it yet? Graphene isn't naturally antimicrobial. Certain preparation methods of graphene make it that way, which is why it is hard to repeat. I don't know what that means. There's gotta be a way to make pavement more frost resistant. Civil engineering background. I always thought it was the subsoil since they check the density of the rest of the layers that make up the pavement. I live in pothole infested state. I've heard of conductive nanotech material that can be mixed into pavement or sprayed on as a layer, making a heating element on any surface. Seems like it could be solar powered and controlled with simple programming and sensors. It must still be cost prohibited somehow because it seems like a no-brainer for wide-scale application. Thermal expansion upon all infrastructure could be largely neutralized, saving God knows how much in maintenance, rework, accident prevention, etc. Babies start crawling earlier when they have pets. My mom told me I went from scooting to toddling and mostly skip crawling because I desperately wanted nothing more than to be right next to our cat 24/7. He used to follow me around wherever I went, but as soon as I started moving out on my own, he would sit just out of reach and reward me with purrs and snuggles as soon as I caught up to him. Best buds for 16 years. As a former math and physics major, I took meticulous notes of my son's epileptic seizures. At one point, I added barometric readings and current weather data to standard information of date, seizure type, and seizure length in seconds. I'm convinced that low-pressure weather systems increase the frequency and intensity of his epileptic seizures. During a trip to North Carolina, the Arity had an unusually high, stable, high-pressure system. He didn't have any seizures during our time out there. My theory is that higher low-pressure weather systems microscopically change the flow of fluids in the brain or other neurologically sensitive areas of the body, such as the microbiome of the gut. Far more neurological processes are prion-influenced than previously thought, and prion therapy will be the next major breakthrough sometime in the 2030s. This is interesting. I don't know how much about prion disease aside from the classic CJD/Kuru/misfolded protein/etc. stuff that's taught in basic neuroscience classes. My questions are, 1, how are the prion diseases that we do know about identified? And 2, why don't researchers apply those methods of identification to diseases that they're struggling to find a cause for? Gut bacteria has evolved to influence our behavior either directly or indirectly, to crave foods that benefit it. That's why it's hard to come off certain foods. Anecdotally, it's hard to give up a high sugar, high fat food, yet if you go for long enough without them, your desire for them drops massive. I believe it's because the gut flora that likes this food dies off and no longer influences your behavior. It's very, very hard to prove, but it seems self-evident that if bacteria had the slightest opportunity to evolve a means to do this, it would almost be a certainty. Sometimes I wonder if I don't want to give up dairy because I'm hooked on casein. What is torture when you were a kid, but heaven now? Nap time, snack time, quiet time, maybe just time in general. It moves so slowly as a kid, and now I'm constantly trying to find more of it. Snack time. Okay, but come on, this one was always fun. Snack. Holistic dry peanut butter and alfalfa sprouts on the OG plain rice cake with a couple of spoonfuls of acidophilus. What? Go to your room! Okay, my parents stopped sending me to my room when I was 13 because I just took my book with me and stayed in there reading until they came and got me or I smelled food. My mom did the same. I'd have to sit in the dining room until my punishment was up. Happened 1 or 2 times. Good old reverse. My parents made me go outside instead of to my room. Being grounded. I'd love to have an excuse for why I can't go do stuff with other people or why I haven't called or texted them back. Being in lockdown was so great for that. Sorry guys, I can't come to this party tonight. My mom said no. You're 23. Receiving socks as gifts. Absolutely came here to say this. Socks, underwear, damn, even gift cards. Gift cards weren't bad because I could buy something with them. Socks sucks as a kid because who TF says I have cool socks as a 12-year-old. 29, wearing hot pink dress socks on Fridays with the wiener dogs in a bun with sparkly ketchup and mustard on their backs. Literally got pointed out in monthly EMR meeting with physicians and owners. I was cool because of my socks. Weekends where we do nothing but stay home. That's pretty fun for me, you know. Always has been. What is the best video game soundtrack you've ever heard? Any Mega Man Battle Network game. The Pursuit music from the great Ace Attorney. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Lights Out. Gorilla Radio. Turn that shit up. Silent Hill 2. Stardew Valley. That's also really true. The fact that the developer made all the music makes it even more impressive. Dude is insanely talented. It really is so impressive. Making music was actually the only thing he knew how to do before. He had to learn all the rest though. Doom. It's my workout playlist once a week. Same guy did the Wolfenstein New Order OST. It's great. Go Mick Gordon. Hollow Knight. City of Tears. So good. Green Path. Grim during his epic attack. The drum kicks went so hard it knocked me off my chair. Sealed Vessel though, 11 out of 10. What's your I put that on everything sauce? For me, it's sriracha. Chili garlic oil. Agreed. For a while before I discovered this, it was sriracha and chunky sriracha. Okay, based. Crispy chili oil is like heroin for anyone that loves some spicy garlic. Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Goddamn the mythical kitchen for making me get this. It goes on everything now. Louisiana here. This is it. I can do this. Tzatziki. Use tzatziki as your binder next time you make chicken salad. My life will not be complete until I've tried this. I did tzatziki pasta salad. Greek yogurt, diced tomato, diced onion, diced cucumber, dill, lemon juice pasta. So freaking good. Does cheese count? Yes, that's basically what Alfredo sauce is. Nacho cheese works as well. Love me some cheese. Gochujang. Agreed. Everything is better with a little gochujang. I'll have you know, my gochu is perfectly average. How did you get your scar? I fell in the shower while dancing. Now I have a titanium plate. That's pretty metal. The irony in the comment above. No, it's titanium. Weren't you listening? My sister blindfolded me and led me into a desk corner. My daughter has a blindfold related scar. She was about 8 or so and told me she was going to entertain the cat. She put on a blindfold and ran at it full speed into a corner that jutted out from a wall before I could stop her. I run over to where she's laying on her back, gash in her forehead bleeding. As I remove her blindfold, the first day's words from her mouth are, "Was the cat entertained?" I assure you that the cat thought it was hilarious. Then I took her to the ER for stitches and a concussion check. She has a massive vertical scar on her forehead, and when she asks people about it, she sighs and tells them the story. I hit my leg with a chainsaw. Backstory? I was cutting wood with a chainsaw and it touched my leg. I wasn't wearing safety chaps. Someone hit my arm with a chainsaw. Sounds like a bad time. My sister dropped a teacup on my head. My brother hit me in the head with a golf club. Me too. 7-iron straight to the back of the head. My dad says that's the longest period of his life was the deafening silence afterwards until I started to cry and he knew I was alive. My mom had the same moment when my brother hit me with a hammer. My brother threw a rock at me and hit me in the forehead. He knocked me out. I copped a hockey stick to my head above my left eyebrow. My shop teacher told stories of getting 24 stitches in his eyebrow from getting pucked to the face as a hockey coach. My dad played beer league with a guy who took a slap shot directly to the mouth. Apparently he just casually scooped up about 5 of his broken teeth off the ice and headed to the dressing room. They cut a mole out. Oops, that one's cancerous. Better go deeper. How deep? Deep enough to require stitches and leave a 1-inch scar. Better than having cancer, right? You betcha. What jobs deserve higher pay? Carers? Carers. I used to work on a dementia ward and was assaulted on a daily basis, not to mention that I'm wiping up and piss all day. I did a brief stint as a CNA in a nursing home, 12 patients who all need baths, help dress, taken to activities, taken for lunch, multiple depends changed a day, and God forbid you need extra towels because one of your patients had a blowout. The average pay for CNA near me has gone up, but honestly not by enough. Goes for most people in healthcare, I guess. Group home house staff. Anyone working with people that have intellectual or developmental disability, home health, AIDS, or early intervention. Social services in the US are collapsing. Yep, and raising our hourly pay isn't going to help. They set a maximum amount of time you can work each day based on your client. I get minimum wage for a maximum of 1.5 hours per day. People wonder why I don't have a car. Most jobs, but especially caregiving work, whether for children, elders, or people with disabilities. If it's paid at all, it's often terribly underpaid, especially in most of the USA. Absolutely, and so often these positions go unnoticed in the general public. Yeah, I was a full-time caregiver to a sick family member from the time I left high school for 6 years. The number of people who treated me like I'd never had a job or did any work because it wasn't paid is almost universal. Funnily enough, those same people are the ones who say it's so nice of you to have done it. Any job where you destroy your body is no fucking joke. I was a farmer for 3 months before I cut out of that. I lived in an expensive metro and was driving 45 minutes out to another county to make $12 an hour. Though it was something I wanted to get into, I was beat physically after every shift. My boss went off on me one day and I didn't come back. I still feel for them too because that was hard as and they were out there busting their all day too. As a farmer, I just want to let you know that not all farms are like that. Yes, it's hard work, but no farmers, no food, or booze, or clothing, or medicine. Farms can only pay based on what customers are willing to pay. EMT, I make $12.50 an hour. That's insulting. What movie lines are so famous you don't need to mention the movie's film title? Hasta la vista, baby. You shall not pass. Fly, you fools. One simply cannot walk into Mordor. Fool of a took. Alright then, keep your secrets. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. I am your father. I prefer I've got a bad feeling about this. Hello there. General Kenobi. I'll be back. I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. Life is like a box of chocolates. Also the Running Man. I'll be back. Only in a rerun. Here's a Johnny. Fun fact. fact, Jack Nicholson improvised that line. What is always or usually a lie when people say it? I'll be there in 5 minutes, I just left my place. I remember calling a friend who was late to a party and he said he was walking to the bus stop only to realize that later I accidentally called his landline number instead of his phone. Maybe he had a long cord? That's why they were friends. I'll try it out, I'll look into it. 9 out of 10 times they won't try it out or look into it. Sometimes I really mean to, but forget. Well, I just say it so they stop annoying me. I read the terms and conditions. If I recall, somewhere in Europe, it is ruled that the average person cannot be expected to have read the terms and conditions, so you can't use them as an excuse anymore. It makes sense. The average person does not have the legal knowledge or even the vocabulary to understand the terms. Your call is very important to us. Have you ever called a hotline that was currently not experiencing higher than normal call volumes? Like, what is normal then? Are they basing this on an 100-year average or something? The person who's supposed to be measuring call volumes is busy rearranging the options and recording messages about how they've recently changed. Went to Vegas and broke even. I actually did this my first time out, paid for vacation cost and all, left with X and returned with X. Next time I went though, not so lucky. What do you all think is the worst movie you have ever seen? Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. Can't believe that got a sequel. Can't believe OP watched the sequel. There's that too. I see a lot of people who have never seen Birdemic Shock and Terror. I love that movie. Holy crap. Seriously, treat yourselves to this masterpiece. Fun fact, the lead actor Alan Bogg for a long period of time would accept literally any friend request on Facebook, and the man writes every friend a happy birthday message every single year. I've been getting happy birthdays from him for 10 years now and I love it every time. Bad movie recommendation, Velocipastor. It's about a pastor who turns into a velociraptor. The full movie is on YouTube. That sounds so bad that I guess it almost cycles back around to good. I love it. Lamageddon, however, is legitimately horrible, but I laughed so hard I cried during Velocipastor. Oh, come on. In Lamageddon, when the llama guy lays the llama eggs, that part was pure cinema gold. The movie was called The Devil's Child or something. I watched it back in the Blockbuster days. It was extremely low budget. For whatever reason, I was under the impression that Blockbuster only had good movies. I was so wrong. Oh, hell nah. I worked there for 7 years and we had some really bad movies come through. I was well known for telling customers, please, for the love of God, don't rent that. Get this one instead. And hand them an actually decent movie in the same genre. My specialty was mostly horror, but also action and some drama. It didn't take long for the regulars to holler out, is this one any good, girl? Before I replied, it sucked. Cats. It's astonishingly bad. It's not even funny bad, just bad. It wasn't that bad. They played it on my 12-hour flight from Johannesburg to London and there were only about 2 walkouts. My first laugh of the day. Thank you. That is a great line. And that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.